The key thing you should do when you get to St Pancras, if you haven't already done it, is to get yourself a Paris transport ticket, which gives you unlimited use of the buses and the metros for a day, and a Paris museum pass, which gives you free access to a whole list of museums. Actually, it's for 2 days, but if you're only going for a day, then that's the two days is the minimum you can get. This is going to save you an awful lot of time when you get to Paris. When you get to the Gare du Nord, you'll see that there are huge queues to buy Paris metro tickets. I mean, it could take you half an hour or more because the machines are so stupid. You think London transport machines are bad, but these are really complicated. The way I've done it is, as I've suggested, you get the RER train direct from the Gare du Nord to Châtelet, and then you can get out there, and it's about a 5-minute walk to the Pompidou Centre, which is the first of the big five, so-called big five of the Paris attractions. You've got your free museum pass will get you into the Pompidou Museum, but I think you're going to see so many paintings later on. The Pompidou is probably best enjoyed from the outside. It's now about 30 years old, but it still looks incredibly modern, so it's quite a nice building to see. The next building on my suggested route couldn't be more different. It's the Notre Dame, which is a showpiece really of Gothic medieval architecture. Again, you don't have to go in, you can just enjoy the view from the outside. One of the attractions of spending a day in Paris is that it's pretty compact as a city, unlike London, which sort of straggles for miles. You can walk around all the sites that I've listed in about 2 hours. You've got your metro pass and your bus pass, so if you begin to flag, you can get your map out and look to see where your nearest metro station is. At the Louvre Museum, you can use your pass to go straight up the escalator to the Sully wing, which is where you'll find the two attractions, apparently, which are the only two in the Louvre Museum that people want to see. That's the Venus de Milo statue and the Mona Lisa, by Leonardo da Vinci. They're within about 5 minutes walk of the entrance, so if you plan it properly, and if you look at the diagrams you go in, and actually both attractions are signposted, because the museum seems to have given up the hope that people will go anywhere else. They just send you straight to the Venus de Milo and the Mona Lisa. So you can get in and out of the museum in about 15-20 minutes if you're really quick. And it's such a madhouse at busy times that really going to see the Mona Lisa and the Venus de Milo, if you're that keen, are the only two options to do, because otherwise you'll get run over in the crowd. From the Louvre, I've suggested it's nice as a complete antidote to that madness to go to the Orangerie, which is where you can see Monet's Nymphia's paintings of the water lilies. He chose that museum, and he chose the location, and he chose the way that the paintings are set out in a sort of diorama, and it really is actually quite well worth seeing. That's about a 50-minute walk from the Louvre. Then 10 minutes from the Orangerie will get you to the Musée d'Orsay, which is the sort of greatest hits of the Impressionist art world. Or every famous painting you've ever seen or ever thought about is probably going to be on the 5th floor, which you can reach by an express escalator. One of the nice things about the Musée d'Orsay, as well as having lots of nice paintings, it's actually got a very nice cafeteria restaurant up on the 5th floor. So if by now you're flagging and you need some sustenance, then it's a good place to stop for a sandwich or a glass of wine. After the Musée d'Orsay, it's a short bus ride. It's about 10 minutes by bus from there to the Eiffel Tower. You get the bus right outside the museum, which will take you to the Champ de Mars, which is where the Eiffel Tower is. Depending on the time of day, it's probably quicker to walk up to the first stage of the tower. You do it from the south side. I think it's the Plie-Sous, and it sounds quite daunting, but it's actually quite an easy climb up to the first stage, and from there it's a much easier queue to get to the second stage, and then from the lift there up to the top. It's actually not worth going to the top if it's very misty, because you're not going to see very much. And then once you've done the Eiffel Tower, really, you've completed most of the big sites. The last of the big five, or the theoretical big five, is the Arc de Triomphe. But there actually isn't much to see up close. I think you can climb to the top of it, but I've never really felt inclined to do that. The Arc de Triomphe, I think, is best viewed down the Champs-Élysées. And you can actually walk quite easily from the Eiffel Tower across the river to the Champs-Élysées, where you can see up to the Arc de Triomphe, and then you can walk down from there to the Place de la Concorde, have a look into the Hotel Crillon, or if you walk a bit further down the Rue Saint-Honoré, you can get to the Ritz, and depending on the time of day, you could finish up your day in Paris by having a martini in the Hemingway bar, which was one of Hemingway's favourite places in Paris. And if he claims credit for anything, it was liberating the Ritz from the Germans in 1944 when the Allied soldiers moved in. So from the Pompidou Centre to the Hotel Ritz in a day, 5 or 6 hours. So really not just a day in Paris, but Paris in a day.